Peace and blessings to you. I am driving, so I'm hoping that the audio and everything will sound okay when it is all said and done. I'm Giovanna. I am the Sacred Wellness Alchemist and posted on Threads, which started an amazing conversation that I would love to continue when I have more time. And I did want this to be a video. Unfortunately, I don't really have a lot of time to record. I have a newborn. I am in the car going to pick up her sister. So I was like, while I'm in traffic, let's talk about this a little bit more. This all started because someone commented that it takes them like 8 months to a year to get over someone, and they put 2 clown emojis at the end, like it was a bad thing, that it took time. And I wrote out this response to them, but I guess they took the post down because my reply could not be posted. So I shared it on Threads and a lot of people responded, and it just started a really good conversation. And the main reason why I posted it is because I wanted to remind people that we are human. We have feelings. Our feelings and our minds and our thoughts and our bodies are complex. And when we connect with a person, no matter the quality of the relationship, no matter the duration of the relationship, we grieve that loss. Most of the time when we think about grief in relation to a person, it's like someone that has passed or transitioned. We also grieve when we lose friendships, when we break up with partnerships. We grieve when we are betrayed within a relationship. We grieve when we lose a job. We grieve when our life changes. We grieve when we become mothers. We grieve so many different things besides death. And for it to take any amount of time, especially longer durations of time, is totally, totally normal because you're human and you have feelings. And my baby's talking too. She likes to talk when I talk. The longer that you're with someone, and also the more complex the relationship, meaning if it wasn't a great relationship, sometimes that can take a lot longer. When you're in a relationship that's healthy and you're able to break up amicably, there's no drama or betrayal, those relationships, in my opinion, are easiest to remove ourselves from because there's no healing from a damaged part of yourself, if that makes sense. So one of the posts was this lady mentioned that they were in this long-term relationship. They're still, wanting that person back and they feel bad, la, 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 la. Not minimalizing what they said. I'm just trying to summarize so I can get to what this intention of this recording is for. So I shared that, I had a person that had been in my life for well over 20 years, and it took me a very long time to get this person out of my system. So he and I met when I was about 13, somewhere around there, and we were kind of friends. He, to me, was a little reckless. I was like, yeah, no, not messing with you. But we always stayed in touch. We always stayed in contact. And in our early 20s, we started dating, or so I thought. Okay. This was as I was unraveling out of a horrible relationship. He knew everything that was going on. Like, he was the person that I could talk to about anything and everything. I always felt very safe when I was with him. But he also betrayed me. And what I thought was a friendship unraveled at the same time as I was going through the process of healing from being abused. I was dealing with depression, anxiety, all these things. My friend was very supportive, but at the same time, it's like, but you also lied to me and you betrayed me and you kind of manipulated me into taking our relationship somewhere that it did not have to go. So there were periods of times when I was not in connection with him, when I was like, when I sit down and think about it, this person really was not my friend. They really didn't care about me, because if they did, they would not have lied. They would not have needed to, manipulate me into a relationship situation. However, because I had known him for so long, because I did value our friendship and our connection, I did forgive him, wound up staying in my life, and I found myself in this off and on situationship that was just torture on my heart. Absolute torture on my heart. And it felt like he was so ingrained in my heart, in my mind, in my body, in my spirit, that even thinking about completely severing that relationship, I just could not fathom it. I could not picture life without this person in it. And so that was not healthy. Being in a situationship with someone that you know cares about you, like I know he cares about me, but who just was unwilling or unable to love me, to commit. And it also hurt that having had known him for so long, that I found myself like on the outside of his life, like looking in rather than being a part of it. But that is also what helped me heal. And so some of the things that I did were, one, telling him how I felt. And I didn't need to do this, but the reason why I did is because there were times when I wouldn't fully express myself, how I felt about things and what I wanted. If you feel like you've already done all that, you've already said, hey, this is what I want, I really want let's try this, let's try that. If you've already exhausted that step, don't go back and do it. You've already pleaded your case, don't do it. Instead, I would recommend writing letters to that person and getting everything out that you need to say. And I did this as well. When a letter is written, I like to burn my letters. Make sure you don't burn anything down, or you can just tear it up, flush it, whatever you feel like you need to do with it. The process of burning the letter or tearing it up, it is like alchemy. It just kind of transmutes that energy, and you're no longer holding it. It's no longer within you. Realizing, like having to be real with myself about who they are, what they wanted, and what they were able to give me, and the ways in which they betrayed me also helped me to let go. So this is what sitting with your feelings is. And sometimes it's very painful to do. So you may need a therapist to support you through that, or, a friend, somebody who can hold space without judgment. Is like thinking about, the times in which, like, wow, like I can't believe this person really did that. And I'm dealing with so much other stuff over here that I can't even address the bullshit that they did. But just sitting with how it made me feel. And also making a list of what it is that you do want in a partner. And I'm not talking about like the looks, the height, but actually the type of person they are, their values, their qualities, their belief systems, how they treat you. Oftentimes you'll see that person maybe has some of those qualities, but they're probably not even really, they don't fit the mold. They don't fit your vision of love. And so once I started seeing that, like, wow, like, yeah, I care, but they can't give me what I want. I also got real about the time, the energy, the pieces of me, the tears, like how much have I given to this person and to this relationship? And what did I get out of it? Has this relationship made me a better person? Has it brought joy and love and peace and stability and support and companionship into my life? Or has it brought me stress, depression, anxiety, sadness, loneliness, abandonment. Like, what did you truly get out of that relationship? And none of this is about shaming or judging yourself for how you feel. And this works for me because it's almost like turning your emotions off, taking your feelings out of it and looking at it as if it were like accounting or math, like, or just looking at the facts of the situation. So, like, is this person an asset or are they a liability? Have they added value or have they depleted me? So when you're able to look at it objectively rather than subjectively, that can help. I am not, and it's sometimes it's not easy because it's like, God, like you really start to see this, like they really played me. They really did their big one. Like, I can't believe I tolerated this. And all of this takes time, but in time, you will get to a point where you're disgusted with yourself for tolerating them, for giving them so much love and so many chances, for pouring into them. And you start to realize, I'm worth more, I deserve more, and there is better for me out there somewhere. And you start to pull back your energy and pour your love and your time, and that same loving energy you put into them, you begin to put it into yourself. And that's when you start healing. That's when you start rebuilding. And so when you start to think of that person, instead of saying like, dang, I wasted so much of my life, I gave them this, that, and a third, and like, you don't think about it that no more. It's like, yeah, there was a moment of time when I really cared for that person. They didn't deserve it. Now I know better. And, you know, I moved on. I chose to move on. And now I'm open to a better, healthier, reciprocal, stable relationship. I took a trip and I went to the beach after breaking up. This is just like general like things that I've done after breaking up with someone. And I set a mantra or an intention that every mile that I drive, the farther and farther away I get, was creating distance. It was disconnecting me from that person. There are also like cord cutting rituals. There is, if you have anything that belongs to them, things that they've given you, you can give it away, you could sell it, bury it, burn it. I have done funerals for the person, well, not for the person, be very like, but for the relationship, like, you know, mourning the relationship in a sense, so that it's like, okay, this is done. And then just consistently reminding myself, that man didn't love me. That man didn't treat me right. Allowing him to come back into my life is only going to restart that same emotional roller coaster. And I don't want to get on that ride. I want to be like on the paddle boats, feeding the ducks. I don't want to be holding on for dear life on a crazy roller coaster anymore. So it's reprogramming your mind and your body and your soul to function in healthy ways around love, to feel safe opening your heart again, and to know that you didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. It's not you. It's not that you were not good enough. It's that person was not worthy of your love. And instead of a person saying, you know what, you're an amazing person and I would love to be in a relationship with you, but I can't give you what you're looking for. People put on facades and they fake personalities to gain access. I always feel like within a relationship, whether it's a friendship or romantic partnership, if and when the feeling changes or you meet someone new, like, just be honest. Like, there's no reason why as adults we're still lying. We're still pretending to love people. We're living double lives. We're making promises that we have no, like, that to me is mental illness. And I feel like it should be looked at and studied as such. And that's why so many people are now taking people to court, because imagine the type of person you have to be so sick in your heart and mind that you pretend to build a life with someone only for it to all have been deception. That is insane. And I feel sorry for people like that. Instead of feeling sorry for yourself and, you know, for what they did or didn't do that caused you harm, I'm like, damn, I feel bad for you, because I was genuine and true, and you have to miss out on that. You no longer get to experience me. And when you start to look at it like, I'm the catch, I'm a good person, I am loving, I am kind, I am honest, I am true, you know, I bring so much joy and beauty into the life of someone else, for someone to purposefully mishandle me, that's so sad for them. Because now they don't get to experience me. Now I get to call my energy back, all the love, all the time, all the attention, all the support. I call all of that back to me. And they don't get to have that. They don't get access to it, none of that. Another thing is that, yeah, like calling your energy back. When you find that you're thinking about them or you're sad over them, in that moment, just pause. Like, tune in to yourself, your heart, like, okay, I feel this. Like, that's very real. And now I choose, or like give yourself, like, you know, if you're feeling sad, like give yourself a day or whatever, 30 minutes, whatever time frame. And then after that, set the intention and choose to call your power and your focus and your energy and your love back to you. There are a lot of people in this world who feed off of others' energy and emotions. You may have energy vampires, narcissists. They're just people with malicious intent. And a lot of people thrive off of making chaos in other people's lives. I will never understand it, but it's real and it's valid. And the more you focus on yourself, focus on realizing that you are beautiful, that you are loving, that you're worth being loved, and that person was just off their rocker, it starts to free up some of that energy. It starts to make it a little easier to release. A few other things that I have done to help myself is I work with essential oils. They are natural ways to boost your mood, energy healing, finding a hobby to throw yourself into. I used to paint every single day. I had an art studio. I love working with all the mediums and just creating beautiful things. When you can color, you can draw, you can get yourself a little sketchbook. And when you're feeling raw and you're thinking about that person, put colors on the paper, like draw how you feel. Find ways to process, write in, get a journal dedicated to it, and put all of that stuff in that space. And the reason why I say put it in a separate space is so that it's no longer part of your everyday thing. So if you have like a daily journal that you use, get a separate journal so that you can contain all of that energy, all of those thoughts and feelings around, you know, the heartbreak that you're experiencing in there. Because there may come to a point where you're like, you know what, I don't need this anymore. So I'm gonna burn it. I'm gonna tear all the pages out. I'm gonna, you know, whatever. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways to support yourself, your emotions, in a way that help you feel better, in a way that help you process, heartache, betrayal, grieving a relationship. And some of that is that you allow yourself the time and that you don't feel pressured that I should be over this right now. It's been X amount of time. We all grieve and process in different ways. Healing is not linear. It is very much a spiral, and it's very much a spiral. And one day you'll feel great and you won't think about that person. The next day you may find yourself like tearing up, like, damn, like we could have been. And that's part of the process. It's part of grieving. We don't, beat people up when their parent or their best friend passes and they're reminiscing and they're missing that person. It's okay to reminisce and miss a person that you were in a relationship with, even if the relationship was shit, even if they were a horrible person. They were a part of your life, and now you're learning how to live without them. And eventually, over time, you'll be able to reclaim yourself, you'll be able to reclaim your energy, and you won't have those same thoughts, feelings, and emotions as strongly as you're feeling them now. So just be gentle with yourself, be patient, get support. There are support groups. There's this group called Emotions Anonymous that you can go and talk about things. I used to do healing circles, spiritual love circles around love and relationships. I haven't done them in a while, but I would love to bring them back. I'm having a hard time finding time to do stuff like that with a newborn, but hopefully soon I will be able to do a little more things like that I enjoy, holding space for people in that way. But yeah, treat yourself. Somatic work helps, body work helps. Like I said, Reiki, energy healing. There's so many different ways to get that out of your system so that you can reclaim who you are and become who you were created to be. Definitely start loving on yourself. Do things that make you feel good. Build up your confidence. Pursue hobbies and interests. I haven't painted in a long time, but I would go to like art galleries and just surround myself around things that made me feel good. Take yourself out on dates, love on yourself, and in time you will be just fine. You're where you're supposed to be. It's not a rush. It's not a race. Allow it to unfold naturally, and one day you will look up and look back and you will have gained a lot of wisdom and become an even more loving and kind soul from what you've been through. So I hope this helps. If you have questions, let me know and I will elaborate. Because I genuinely love supporting people. It's what I've always been good at. It's what helped me go through a number of horrific and traumatic life events myself, including heartbreak and friend betrayal, and just navigating life in general. So I am here, and again, I hope this helps. Peace.